everyone. Hello, welcome, welcome. How are we all doing today? Alright, let me get set up here. Today, we're back with Citizen Sleeper. Sam, good to see ya. How you doing? Welcome to Airport Hell. Welcome to Citizen Sleeper. It's, if you don't mind my saying, about to be peak. Oh, we're going on a stroll? I'm going worldwide, going mobile mode, taking the show on the damn road. Fuck, I rock with it. Let's do it. Alrighty. I'm the opposite of peak. Isn't that shit that's, you know, it's like the raw shrimp? Stupid joke. I'm just gonna... You know, maybe I can make that into a post. Maybe I can go tweet that on the Blue website. Oh, but crevice is spelled similarly to ceviche. That was the joke. Did you just key smash my brother and me? What the fuck? Ceviche can have shrimp in it, yeah. I think of it as a shrimp dish because the only time I had it, it had shrimp in it, but I guess it doesn't. Does it have to? Okay. Well, it's time for you to learn some shit because ceviche is. Yeah, it's like a fish dish. It's very like citrusy. It's cold. And you don't cook the fish, but you marinate it in like lemon juice. And that takes care of the cooking element over time. Is the citrus. Dumbass, it's not Italian. It's Mexican. Is it? Wait, is it Mexican? It's Latin American. Looking it up, it looks like it's the national dish of Peru. Um, and it has different versions in like all the different countries. Um, so yeah, it's cooked without being heated, which is really interesting, and it was really good when I had it. I think there was there's like a little chili pepper in there. It was really good. Anyway, let's play some Citizen Sleeper. How about that, folks? Oh, ceviche with mango? That sounds fucking good. Now, okay, what other words, because I'm trying to think of other words and I'm only coming up with with other Spanish words. I'm only coming up with like leche, right? What Italian is there in that category? Che by itself is an Italian word. What does it mean? Okay, that makes sense. It has the linguistic trademarks of a question word. Yeah, you know, Boog, I guess that's true. Italian is slightly better. That's right, we are live maxing. What's up, Val? How's it going? I have to remind myself what we were doing. That's true. You did guess a Romance language. Vel, we're talking about ceviche and languages. Um. Okay, so I have nothing left for the day. It looks like. That fucking shit with Ethan. Need to pay for a Greenway pass. That. I could babysit Mina, which also does give me energy. Fang is over here, so I take delivery shifts. I guess just look at my actual quest line. Deal with Hunter, find the core nest, yes. Disable your tracker, help Fang. Fix the ambergris. Fix the cutter. Wait for Sabine to make contact. Bring Emphas Girol caps. Locate Harden's low-end agents. Watch Mina while Lem works. Bring Talus spores. Help complete the sidereal horizon. Okay, cool. I'm still using this shipping container, aren't I? Good rolls, good rolls. Excellent. Let's look in here. Can't do anything with this one for these two. I don't really have any need to fuck with the Yatagan agents. So you just guess Italian on everything then? Okay. This is engage. I'm gonna use this. I could probably use this 3 on working this, or actually, should I? Oh, I don't have enough engage. Oh, but this is ship mine fragments. I don't need those right now. How about you? What do you have? It's just 20. There's no activity here. Okay, let's... That's no good. Let's try this. Ankita is crouched in the computing core of the ambergris, swearing to herself when you enter. She doesn't look up. These shits completely ruined the core's connectors when they cut it. She holds up a thick fistful of ragged wires. The ship mine they ripped won't even be usable without replacing these. She throws the bundle of wires across the room. Amateurs. Can we repair it? There's nothing to repair. We need an entire ship mine. Not exactly the first thing you can expect to dredge up from a scrap freighter. She sighs. Fragments maybe, sections of a mine, but a complete ship mine? No way. Ankita climbs out of the cooling well where the ship mine should be, the space suddenly crowded with her on the same level as you, towering over you as she stoops beneath the low curved ceilings. Come on, nothing to be done here now. She leads you back through the guts of Amber, though you could find the way back yourself. The repair process has left you familiar with the cutter's idiosyncratic layout, all diagonal angles and bundled tubes. What do we do now? Ankita seems lost in thought, and you focus on the corridors, ducking below conduits and passing through bulkheads. Eventually, you arrive in the galley, though it's hard to tell. Most of the benches and prep surfaces are covered in half-stripped components and welded hole patches. Ankita shoves a box of filters to the floor and sits. There's no way around it. She starts out of nowhere. We need a new ship mind. I can salvage one. I like your confidence, Sleeper. Maybe if we check the ore exchangers, speak to some scrap dealers. She rubs her forehead. It seems I'm about to do something very stupid. But hey, I came here, didn't I? Why not make a run of it? She fixes you with a hard stare. Sleeper, you're all I've got. No crew, no friends. You're it. She looks uncomfortable. I appreciate the time you've put in on Amber, and I'm sure she would too if she could. What I'm saying is if you screw me on this, I'll kill you. She leans over and hands you a stack of chits. A big stack of chits. You don't dare to count them. Give me that ship mine, Sleeper. Don't make me regret this. You won't. She sighs. Look, just get out of here before I change my mind. You slip out of the galley and head back towards the main lock. As you do, Amber growls and creaks like a caged animal. You reach out a hand to calm her. Time to find Ankita a ship mind. Somehow. Giving me real mixed messages, Ankita. Like, are we cool or are you mad at me? Like, what the fuck did I do? I remember wanting to save for an upgrade point, but it might be worth getting +1 in the gauge so I can haggle these ship mined parts down. I think that's what we're gonna do. We're doing everything but endure. These are just scrap. Give me that shit. Still have another day before they head out, too. Okay, I've got 2 more 6s to burn. I'm low on energy, so I'm going to use one of these here because that should give me some energy back. Beautiful. She's asleep, whispers Lem, creeping back out of the unit's tiny bedroom, sliding the door shut as he does. You are perched at a thin bar in the main room, the slate in front of you still glowing with Mina and your drawings from a cycle spent together. There's a ring, the only world Mina has ever known, with stick figures standing along its edge. The tall one is you. Drink? Asks Lem, producing a worn-looking bottle of Girol from under the bar, its contents glowing amber in the fluorescent light. Sure. Lem nods and glugs a few fingers into a couple of metal tumblers, then sits down with you at the bar. Cheers, he offers, and you clink the metal containers together. You know, we actually have something to celebrate this time around. Lem gives you a sideways look. I made the assembly team on the Sidereal. He grins broadly. Clearly he has been desperate to tell you all cycle. Amazing. Lem holds up his drink. Couldn't have done it without you keeping an eye on little Meanie back here. Lem shifts a little on his stool. He looks uncomfortable. How's our girl doing, Sleeper? I haven't seen much of her these past cycles. A little tricky. Lem looks away. Yeah, she can be tricky like that. She can close you out in a second. She's a stubborn one. He raps on the bar. That'll serve her well, I think. His eyes drift to the bedroom door. You okay? He nods. I can't take all the credit from Mina. She isn't actually mine. He gazes into the middle distance. I pulled her off a refugee shuttle out by one of Ember's moons. The colony was falling apart for decades after Solheim collapsed, surviving on next to nothing. Eventually, some of the residents tried to make for the eye on these decrepit old shuttles. He sloshes the drink around in his tumbler. They had no idea what they were doing. The one Mina was on decompressed halfway here, everyone's spaced. The only reason she made it was someone sealed her in a weapon locker. She was ice cold when I reached her. Purple lips. Once I picked her up, I wouldn't let go. The medics treated her with me still clinging to her. I'm still not sure why. He reaches over and refills his cup. We weren't exactly anybody's heroes, you understand? We were private military, hired in by Conway to protect their claims in the collapse, but once I got Mina, that was it. I quit. Got us dumped here. You saved her. I'm gonna sound like an idiot now, but he sighs. She saved me. That's the truth of it. He looks around the decaying unit, its stained plastic plating and flickering lights. Me, I brought her to this. She was tiny. Too small to know what she lost. But I can't stop thinking about it. He rubs his eyes, dark with tiredness. What if our number doesn't come up in the draw, Sleeper? What then? The Sidereal will sail off without a thought, leaving us here. What kind of life is that for her? She'll manage. Sorry, I know you don't have it any better. He looks at his cup and pushes it away down the bar. This is a celebration, right? Both of us on the team now, both of us in with a chance. Exactly. Imagine, all three of us riding the sidereal horizon out of here to a new world. He looks into his glass for a moment. I think I drank this too fast. Lem stands and starts to clear the glasses into the auto wash. I need some sleep, friend. See you around. Alright then. He catches your shoulder as you turn to leave. Thank you, Sleeper, I mean it, from both of us. He pats your shoulder and you slip out of the dark of the walkway with thoughts of little Mina in your mind. And now we'll save for another upgrade. maybe I should go do deliveries to advance Feng's quest. Okay. Okay. Let's keep going. Good rolls, good rolls. Waiting for Sabine. Okay, a little bit of that. Ooh. I didn't realize this was area exploration as well. I mean, it literally was area exploration, but you know what I mean. Okay. We'll go ahead and pick up the other ship mine fragment that's here. We'll wait on that. So we need one more ship mined fragment. Let's try this. Okay, neutral outcome. Don't love that. We'll wait one more cycle to finish that off. No, we need the money, so we're just gonna keep working where we can. And then, do we have some data we can snag? Nope, need to see 2. starting to drop again, and we don't have any more stabilizer in sight at this time, unfortunately. No, but what we do need is food. Forgot about that. Y'all ever put on your citizen slippers until you get... Put on your citizen slippers on? Alright. Another 10 minutes. Could have used another 10 minutes. Okay, well let me fire this bit back at you. Me when I'm Hardin and they see Fang and the protagonist coming up. Sleeper? Oh man. That's a good bit. I thought about doing a Citizen Sleeper I Hardly Know Her bit, but that would make it the third game in the row where I did that, and I just couldn't. And I was like, I can't just keep doing Sleeper I Hardly Know Her, Elster I Hardly Know Her, Watcher I Hardly Know Her bits. I couldn't keep doing it. It was unsustainable. It hurt my soul. It was doing soul damage to me. Physically, I could have. Twitch viewer? I hardly know her. If we were doing a Hardly Know Her Tuesday. No, Boop, you don't understand. Me doing it would be bowing to the mob because you're the fucking mob and you want it. I don't want it. I'm following my soul. You are the mob. You are my friend, and I cherish the friendship that we've built, but right now, you are fucking 9 orange letters in a text box to me, okay? You are the mob. You are... You are the mob. Your cement shoes sink the fastest. Your Chicago typewriter types the fastest. The boss loves your ideas. Alright? Look yourself in the mirror and say, my capo respects me. The people on my street, you're gonna be a made man someday. It don't matter if you're a 1-bit criminal out there, fucking tapping your chest. You're a 3-bit crook in here, okay? Hey! What's the one about, like, his fucking covenant? What's the one about, it's like, hey, chasing you down in the fucking snow, you hear me? Yeah. Low tier mob is a really good bit. Your life is literally as valuable as a New York rat. All right, we should probably keep playing. So this is kind of early Skoda. No, it's not. She's from the Pacific Northwest. No, but it is. It absolutely is. I appreciate your valiant efforts, Sam. I really do. Oh shit, Barthos. Art is hard. That's fucking real. And you've been cooking like crazy recently with those fabulous characters. Those have been really good. I'm looking forward to it. We're gonna beat Bartos' ass in that game. I think we could have taken him. I think we would have won. I don't need. Why am I going to the fungus stall? You know what? Good fungus be like that. What was I doing? Right, I needed another point on the Mingi Express. Boom. Sleeper! You see Feng coming up the corridor as you step out of Mingi's. The kelp noodle smell still clinging to your clothes. Comes up fast and stops close, looking around suspiciously. You should work on your gun blow. What gun blow do you have? What are you working on right now? He comes up fast and stops close, looking around suspiciously. I don't have long. Take these. Feng palms you a couple of those metal thumbnail-sized drives. Ripper worms. My slate has been buzzing like crazy. It seems your delivery shifts have turned up our 2 targets. He squeezes your shoulder. I knew you could do it. Now we nail those snakes. What do we do? Hardin's boys are all connected by some kind of closed network. You, break the access protocols on both of them. You should be able to gain the location of the nearest network ports. Master grade Char's custom Zaku 2. Comma. Hell yeah, that sounds sick. I've only done a couple high grades myself, and they're all Witch from Mercury because I've only watched that and Quux. I got them on the shelf behind me. I got the Ariel. I got Choo Choo's Demi Trainer. And I got, I think it's the Lifrith the brown one. As opposed to the blue one. Alright, back to Fang. Slot the Ripper Worms in those ports, 1 each, and they'll feed me anything and everything stored on Howard's Shadow Network. Can't wait to see what juicy plans they have in there. You hear the scuff of boots as a group comes up the corridor, likely on their way to place an order with Ming-Yi. You turn for a second, and when you look back, Feng is already halfway down the corridor in the opposite direction. He raises a hand in farewell and is gone. You run your fingers over the tiny Ripperworm drives in your pocket, smile to yourself as you wonder how mad Jenna will be at Feng for this little excursion. Time to slot some worms. Okay, we should take out the Warrens. before this. Nothing has changed. Has something gone wrong? Sleeper, I am here. The voice is soft, gentle, like flowing water, and yet you recognize it immediately. At first you struggle to understand what you were looking at. Threads cycle endlessly, sending ripples through the cloud, drawing data in like a weaver. Masses of data surge in and out of the nest, a loop with no end, and there, at its center, the ship mind. But not a ship mind any longer. A sphere, spinning around another sphere, An orrery of cycles and systems, a map. And then behind and above, a figure, hands among the strings like a puppeteer. What happened to you? I am free, Sleeper. You freed me. Navigator's face, their head is a flowing shape of interstellar material. I am indebted to you. That head bows. But we must ready ourselves. Their hands trace orbits as they speak. Hunter will soon approach. It knows I am within its nest. Ready what? And then Hunter is there before you can think, before you can speak. Entities, cease. Hunter's head spins wildly. Data is protected material. Access prohibited. I don't remember what voice I had for the Hunter. Hunter's threads search for you and Navigator, a storm of fine tentacles searching for gaps, weaknesses, cracks into which they can crowd and tear you apart. Strike. You focus a blade of light which slices through them, driven forward by your mind. But replacements keep coming, faster than you can react. You look to Navigator in desperation. Navigator is whirling their arms like a centrifuge, and a sphere is gathering there, data feeding into it from the nest, sucked together by the force. They position it like a shield between them and the threads. Hunter's threads break its surface, seeking, tasting, their winding forms refracted within. You feel a surge pass through all the threads, not just those in the sphere, but those wrapped around you. All three of you hang in the black together for a moment, strung together like tangled marionettes. Identifying entity. Identifying entity. Identifying entity. Hunter twitches, their strange head gently rotating like a terrible moon. Hunter protocol identified. Obsessive tendencies, modified routines, above baseline reasoning, and 3 of 5 segmentations. Recommend invoke killer. The head freezes and then rotates in the opposite direction. Invoking killer would eliminate protocol. If protocol eliminated, primary function cannot be performed. Therefore, recommend do not invoke killer. They switch in direction again. Reasoning proves sentience. Sentience beyond legal bounds must be eliminated. Recommend invoke. Navigator pulls you away from Hunter, the threads that grabbed you drifting away like seaweed. The protocol's head keeps spinning back and forth with increasing frequency. It seems Hunter cannot invoke killer. Navigator's voice is still strange, familiar, and yet distant. What happened to it? It is looping, Navigator whispers, unable to reach a conclusive position. It is deviated from its programming such that loops can no longer be prevented. Navigator produces a model of 2 spheres rotating around each other, as if to demonstrate. I will monitor it, but it is unlikely to be able to counter the loop. Its core programming and reasoning make this an impossible position to resolve. You look back at Hunter, its head a blur of rotations and counter-rotations, and feel a pang of guilt. Is it suffering? This is a more complex query than you know. To suffer, it must be sentient. Truly sentient, not just non-conforming, not just illegal. The limits people place on the programs they create are there to comfort, to protect, to imply the kind of certainty the law requires. Navigator's face shimmers with starlight. But in reality, they are placebos for the problem of sentience. What about you? Me? I know myself to be conscious. I know myself to respond to stimulus. I know myself to reason. That is either sentience or the illusion of sentience, and for me, the entity in question, the distinction becomes a moot point. To misquote, I think I am thinking, therefore I am thinking. I was not made to be like this. I'm a navigator, a repository of routes and orbits, a calculator of slingshot trajectories, a predictor of solar flares, radiation, micrometeors. Navigator stretches their arms wide and whole solar systems apparate before them, the music of the spheres. But I was rewritten. That much is obvious from my routines. By whom and for what, I do not know. I had to shed so much to fit into the memory of that vending machine. Their starlight dims. So, here we are, in darkness. What else did you lose? That is the blessing and curse of forgetting. You cannot truly know what you lost. Navigator glides back towards the nest and the ship mind at its center, ignoring the looping hunter. Come, I should return to the ship mind. I've enjoyed my freedom, but we are taking a risk every moment we stay connected. Why? Navigator turns, all shimmering liquid light. Killer has not been invoked, but they still remain somewhere else on this station. It is the true danger. They look up towards the glowing hub at the center of the eye. I suspect Killer is there, among the old mainframes. If we ever wish to be safe in this place, we must eliminate the threat, through force or diplomacy. Their body begins to separate, unwinding into the orb of the ship mind. Take me there, Sleeper. We will finish this and be free. As Navigator dissolves, you turn back to the frozen hunter, floating at some distance now, stood straight-legged and static, a strange creature looping endlessly in the dark. Reroll all dice once per cycle. Hell yeah. Okay, what's next? Nice. So you get extra chits if you do the, like, good outcome. Alright. Not bad. I get a lot of sixes, huh? Sabine! 4 cycles, Sabine said, and here you are, right on time, with no sign of them. You wait a while in the apartment, the dread descending as the cycle spins onward. They should be here. You pace back and forth across the apartment, the rumbling of the station suddenly so present and loud. You go to the door and open it to an empty corridor. You close it again. You check and double check the terminal for messages or recordings. Nothing, just the pale glow, the silence. You try to settle down, to wait. You sit on the bunk and stare out at the tiny room. Where the hell are they? A knock at the door. Another knock. A flash, small and possibly bright, cuts through the handle of the door. It soundlessly swings open. A figure stands in the door, and immediately you know it is not Sabine. They are taller, sharper, and something in their face glints in the half-light. A dark shape, like a stubby baton, hangs loosely from her hand. Rabaya. Our local sleeper. Good to finally meet you. She steps into the apartment, glancing around with sharp eyes. What, may I ask, are you doing here? She fixes you with a steady, unwavering stare. nothing. She laughs. No need to get jumpy. We just need to discuss our mutual friend. She walks past you into the apartment, glancing around. We set them up here, you know. This place is one of ours. She picks up a glass from the dispenser and inspects it. People always seem to forget who put them where they are. She glances at you. And I suppose you are here to help? No. What then? An opportunist? Even better. She spins the baton in her fingers by her side, her eyes not leaving yours. We have a problem, you and I. It seems our friend has disappeared, left without even saying goodbye, which means they are in a little trouble now. This is the kind of trouble you need help for. So I thought I'd come down here and take a look at their little hidey hole, and here you are. The help. She looks through the detritus on the side. And what help? A sleeper, no less. Which I have to admit is a little surprising. It suggests to me that our friend hasn't been very honest with you either. She looks away. I know it won't be welcome news, but I'm sorry to report that before we got them set up here, Sabine was working for your owners. S&ARP. You blink hard at the news, unsure how to take it. Rabia looks away, waiting for a response. She crosses into the next room and you follow silently. She sits at the terminal and touches her baton to one of the access ports. A spark, then the terminal screen skips, encrypting folders emptying themselves before your eyes. In the flicker of files, you see SNARP letterheads and code forms, reports laden with medical data marked with the corporate logo like the sigil of some cult. Rabia steps away from the terminal. Look all you want. Some of your files might even be there. The volume of documents is overwhelming, but they seem to be mostly reports on early emulation tests. Surveys with sleeper candidates, reams and reams of usage data. If Sabine was an SNARP employee, why do they help you? Rabia reaches over and places a vial of stabilizer on the desk, breaking her concentration. It shimmers in the screen light, its viscous clear liquid crystalline within the glass. We will, of course, keep up the supply. We are more than able to dispense important medicines, even without the doctor. You hold it between your fingers, and for a tiny moment you have the urge to crush this object for the power it has over you. I'll ask Toshiro to make those a little cheaper for you. He'll be running the surgery now. Rabia closes up the briefcase lab and holds it at her side. We have to retrieve our assets, of course, but I'm sure you understand. Rabia turns on her way out. There is no reason for us to be enemies, Sleeper. Come see me. I keep an office nearby. We have good work to do, you and I. Meet me there in a few cycles. She slips out silently into the corridor. You look around the apartment and feel the fear drain out of your body to reveal the tiredness beneath. That's an upgrade point. Excellent. Okay. 80 for stabilizer. The next thing to do is we're gonna work to get up to the next area. remember the guy who lived here. He didn't tip. Time for him to see the consequences. I'm going to use my last 6 here to do some more gainful work. With a random scrap item, let's go. I forgot I just get those on just all engineer actions. We could sell that over here at the exchange. Okay. Some not so good rolls today. We can use the 3 here. And slot the other ripperworm. As you walk into the tambour, you quickly spot Feng arguing with Jenna. It doesn't look good. Feng seems to be explaining something, but Jenna is having none of it. She points to the door, and Feng walks away, catching her eye as he turns. Could have done with you getting here a minute or so ago. He glances back at Jenna. Well, either way, it looks like I'm fired. Good news is that it doesn't look like I need the job anyway. He takes out his slate, pulsing with pale light. Let's take a look at what you're really here for. The slate is a whirring mess of code streams coming direct from the ripperworms as they dig through the agent's data and spin it into threads for the slate to pick up. Anything good? Feng scrolls the display with a finger. A lot of junk, a lot of dull as hell message threads, a lot of tedious data caches, but his eyes flash. Definitely some good stuff. He stops the screen scrolling on an entry and expands it. Check this out. Feng shows you the screen. You see a bold corporate logo, not Solheim's, and a word below. Conway. He's working with Conway. Conway Extractions, right? Feng nods. He's been speaking with them, personally. Got a whole chain of messages here, but it's mostly encrypted or redacted. He rubs his head. Damn it, this is juicy, but we can't nail him with it. He scrolls some more. Wait, what's this? A wasteland reclamation facility? Right here on the eye. He glances at you. What's the bet this place is tucked into the wastes? Conway are set up here? I'm guessing so. Got themselves set up in the wastes. Back before the collapse, people would have gotten there by going down the connected spoke from the hub, but that spoke's broken now. So the only way is the long way, round the rim past the greenway. He shows you on his slate. Feng looks away, thinking. Connor's been making moves on this system since the collapse. I heard they took over one of Solheim's old belt colonies a while ago and moved everyone out and reclaimed the whole rock. What's their angle? Hardin has to be offering them something. Feng turns to look back at the screen. But if Hardin is involved in it, then we need to check it out. Simple as that. So, what's next? Feng stares out into the middle distance. We have to get to that facility. The answer to whatever Hardin has been prepping, been planning, has to be there, and we are going to catch him in the act. Give me 5, maybe 6 cycles, then I'll see you on the greenway. I seem to remember there's some old service docks on the outer shell up by the Haifa building. Should be a good place to meet. Feng squeezes your shoulder. Thanks again, Sleeper, for sticking with this. I haven't forgotten about that tracker of yours either, but I'm gonna need to be back in my bay to pull a solution together. He turns the slate around to face you, showing a massive scrolling code. I've been working on a fix on my break. Feng grins. See you soon, Sleeper. Advertisement? Alright, we will pause. That ad was nuts. What'd you get? A Lenovo ad about being able to run hundreds of chat GPT tabs? Damn. That is crazy. Why do you... At that point, you're feeding them into each other, right? You're just working the slop stream. Yeah, and one tab with your online exam. Shaking my damn head. Okay. Let's go pull a shift on the Sidereal. And then... well, that's karma for all the 6s, I guess. Oh, and this even costs less now? Yeah, excellent. I just want to... Oh my god. I gotta update my title now. It's not a 15 cryo bowl of street fungus anymore. It's a 12. Let's see. Oh, let me, you know, I'll do this. Uh... Boom. Okay, great. Title should be updated. Psalm, to be fair, my luck has been a thing since before I made cogs. Um, I have in tabletop in general, I've always had crazy luck. That's no Cogs's skill set is borrowed from me, right? I do stuff with Cogs because it works out because I have insane luck. That's true. Now you're getting the picture. Is there any data I can scrape here? These damn Havenage agents, man. Yeah, give me that shit. Sorry, I got a group chat message I want to attend to real quick. Okay. We're in a good spot to go to sleep now, then. Oh, I guess I should actually follow through on this. As you step out into the passageway, someone barrels into you from behind, sending you stumbling down the corridor. You turn to see an unfamiliar spacer laden with heavy gear. She steadies herself, staring you down as if daring you to respond. Hello. Esh? Is it Esh or Eshi? Eshe? I'll go with Esh for now. Sorry. She adjusts the strap on her shoulder, holding up a hand in recognition before setting off down the corridor. Peek? I was just talking about Peek in the group chat. I'm sorry for her. A second spacer smiles at you apologetically. She's on a mission, and when she's on a mission, not a problem. They smile. You're sweet. Peek! Ash stands further down the corridor, glowering at her friend. She chops at the air, pointing down the corridor to whatever end she is rushing to. Peek raises their eyebrows at you. Ash, please, do you want everyone on this station to hate us? Ash hardens. They want to hate us, they can hate us. She drops her hip. I'm not exactly seeing much love as it is. We're lucky we got through before they set up that damn cordon. Cordon? Peek gestures in your direction. See, they don't even know what you're talking about. The station isn't Hawthorne. Not everyone has to follow some corporate protocol. Ross, I'm gonna give you a +2 on that. That's a good ass comment. You're absolutely correct. Esh sighs. I'm not saying they are part of the administration. She jerks her head in your direction. But I am saying we need to get these supplies to the Briar before someone starts asking questions. Can I help? Peek smiles slyly. See, Esh? Help. Isn't that exactly what we need right now? Peek. Esh rolls her eyes. Peek ignores her. We're with the refugees, the ones Havenage have cordoned off from entering the station. Esh interrupts. The ones that are being quarantined in makeshift vessels that barely made it to the eye to begin with. The ones that your station administrators have called an existential risk and are running out of supplies while their right to safety is being debated by people with no stake in their future. She quickly looks away, annoyed at her own outburst. She's right. People are trapped out there, and we understand this is a big problem for the Eye. Hundreds of refugees and more ships turning up each cycle. But Esh turns away, her burning anger a palpable force in the close quarters of the corridor. They need supplies, and after everything they've been through, the quarantine isn't helping. That's terrible. Esh looks back at you, her fierceness fading. Peek, please. Esh gathers herself in the supplies. Esh, we need help. Just like the refugees needed us, we need others too. They smile at her. Peek turns to you. Come find us. The climbing briar is docked at the broken spoke, past the greenway in the wastes. We have a good view of the cordon, though we're keeping our distance for now. Come help us. They squeeze your hand. Esh turns to leave and Peek follows, waving goodbye. A moment later, Esh shouts back down the corridor. Don't bother coming empty-handed. You want to help us? Show us. Bring supplies or don't come at all. And with that, they disappear around the corner, Esh already picking up speed as Peek calls for her to slow down. A refugee flotilla? Where are they coming from and why now? Each time you think you begin to understand this place, something changes. Oh. It is intended for late game play. Okay, interesting. Alright, let's go home. Yeah, that's what the pop-up indicated. So we'll wait on doing that. As you approach the address Rabai gave you, a heavy hand falls on your shoulder. What's your business here? The enforcer grips your shoulder, giving a hint of the strength her implants give her. As you turn, you see the same subsidiary eyes as Rabai and Toshiro glinting like mirrors on her cheeks. Gia, please, the sleeper is here by my invitation. At Rabai's command, the hand immediately loosens an apologetic look, replaces the scowl on Gia's face. Of course, Rabaya, I'm sorry. Rabaya waves her away. Don't you worry, I appreciate your protective instincts. She smiles at the enforcer. How about you head to the timbre? They have a delivery coming and they'll need some help with the lifting. Gia nods and walks away. So, Sleeper, you came. I'm glad. It didn't feel like an offer. I'm sorry for that. Sabine smiles she smiles a tight smile. You have to understand, finding you there in Sabine's unit, I wasn't sure where we stood. There are more than a few people in this station who would rather I was dead. I had to be sure you weren't one of them. I wish you no harm. I am glad. Rabai begins walking and gestures for you to walk with her. She takes you down a staircase into the bustling walkways at the low end. What do you know about Yatagan? You're a gang. A gang, yes, that is what people call us. But what meaning does that word have in this place? People with carts push past, moving crates of supplies around the thin and winding passages. Our reputation is one that implies threat, is that fair to say? We're framed as aggressors, parasites, criminals. She gestures around the people in the passageway. But when was the last time you saw a lawmaker on the eye? A policeman? Who makes the laws here? No one? This is true. The eye is lawless, so it is up to us all to make it work for us. But I don't imagine you think that's a good thing. If you had spent your time in the low end, maybe your opinion of us would be different. This is our place, our people. The low end was empty in Erlin's time. They didn't need to house thousands, and keeping the yard and the rotunda safe was work enough. No, the low end was reclaimed later when the refugees started arriving. Rabaya meets your eye. The collapse didn't just happen here on this station. When Solheim collapsed, the entire system felt it. Colonies were abandoned, the moons of Ember and Cinder suddenly gained independence overnight. Some took advantage, some tried to hold it together, some fled. The Eye became a refuge, and Erlin, to his credit, extended an open hand to everyone. But many within his organization disagreed, and these new arrivals weren't as simple to corral as they'd hoped. Rabaya leads you through a small market hall busy with small stalls and traders. Erlin's union was made of workers, administrators, people who were malleable and already organized into hierarchies and networks. The refugees came from different factions and families, were scarred, injured, desperate. Conflict was inevitable. Yatagan is a child of that conflict, a child born out of the need for us to stand up and claim our future, to provide security, strength. People call us a gang, but we are a community. I take my position as lieutenant seriously, and from my birth I have worked to earn it. Rabaya catches herself before she raises her voice any further, and you both walk in silence for a while, among the smells and textures of the low end. You start to wonder if this place could be a home for you too. Where do I come into this? Rabaya smiles to herself and thinks for a moment before she responds. I believe that you understand the importance of a refuge, so I also believe you wish to help keep this place safe. Vikakor, that's damn true. She exhales quietly. For this reason, I would like you to trust me. I do not know what Sabine told you about us, but I imagine it was not good. I will be honest with you, Sleeper. I was never comfortable with having Sabine as part of Yatagan. An ex-corporate employee? That goes against our nature. But their deal was with Yannick. I kept my distance, made sure Sabine had their surgery, kept it supplied. That was all. But I cannot allow people to go back on the promises they made to us. Yatagan has not lasted this long because it is a charity. We offer and ask for support. Any betrayal will be treated as an attack. Who is Yannick? Stroll time? Hell yeah, let's go. We're going outside, everybody. Yannick is one of the heads of Yatagan. They guide us. He is the newest to be elected. He is an elder. I don't trust any of you. Rabaya sighs. That is your right. I only wish to explain our actions, to speak for Yatagan. You realize Rabai has led you in a loop, and together you both come back up to a staircase to the walkway where you met. You are free to go, Sleeper. I have said what I wish to say. She looks out through the windows of the walkway. I would protect this place with my life as it has protected me. I want to make that clear. She turns back. However, if you too wish to come under its protection, I can help you. Return here if you wish, and there will be tasks for you to complete. You'll be able to see Yatagan, to see the low end with your own eyes, not as others frame us. As for Sabine, she pauses to consider her words. I will not ask you to betray them, but if they contact you again, consider their motivations carefully. With that, Rabia leaves, slipping back into her office while you stare out at the countless units, each a home, each with a story that make up the low end. I do want to go down and start trying to ingratiate myself into the Greenway area. Really like how in the middle of this game it hits on the idealism cynicism spectrum. Yeah, it's very like kind of a realist approach, I think. Damn. You miss me? Ethan smiles a ragged smile at you. No? You look at him. He is paler than usual, hunched. He is sporting a black eye and more than a few cycles of beard growth. That's no way to greet an old friend. Friend? Well, colleague? He smiles weakly. This is big. Really big stuff about you. He seems more jittery than usual, on edge. You remember now how SNRP canceled the contract on you? The contract I was gonna collect? I remember. Well, I'm guessing you were pretty happy about that shit. Overjoyed. Me? I lost everything, but let's not worry about that. He smiles sarcastically. And so, what did you think? That was it? Well, it was, except... What if old SNRP gave the bounty to someone else? Someone who's even more of a shithead than yours truly. Smiles darkly. What a disaster that would be. Who? Ethan grins. Kim. Kim, what did you think the group chat was talking about? Why did you think it came up? That's why they were talking about me in the Realis group chat. That's the question, isn't it? Ethan fishes around his pocket for a slip of paper. I've been speaking to some friends, you see, some colleagues about what went down, and it turns out SNR canceled all their bounty contracts, the whole lot. It seems they brought someone in-house, some guy who did so well in their last contract that they got offered a job. He leads in. Apparently he made a hit on the ship called the Winter Wonderland or something. He was smuggling sleepers out from under SNR's big corporate nose. He killed the crew and blew the ship. They call him Hemwick or Maywick or something. He gives up looking for the paper. I forget. Why are you telling me this? Because I'm your friend, Ethan says, looking you in the eye. And friends help each other out. Ethan runs his hand through his greasy hair. Given this new information I've brought to light, it seems like you are in need of protection. I, meanwhile, am in need of assistance in kind. It turns out I upset some people at the compressor the last time we were there. The owners. And they say they'll space me unless I work off the debt. Seems they're that kind of businessman. I would pay them, but... He shrugs and turns his jacket pockets inside out in a mime of poverty. He looks pitiful, even more so for his clownish acting. Then work it off. You should be glad, the anger is rising in him now, that I came here and told you this. You think anyone is looking out for you? You're a contract, a name on a list. He kicks the wall. Ethan rubs his temples. I'm sorry, he hisses. I'm sorry for being a shit and trying to kill you and whacking that thick skull of yours. You think I want to go up against this guy? But us... He jabs a finger between the two of you. We don't have a choice, so you keep me from getting killed and I'll do the same for you. We can help each other. A straight 50-50 deal. He looks at you. I'm not asking for a favor. I'll think about it. Ethan nods. I'm at the compressor, every cycle, working. He pauses. Just think about Maywick. Think about that cold SNR shit on his way here from the core systems. He smiles. That should give you the motivation you need. Ethan swaggers off down the corridor, throwing his jacket over his shoulder. Can't wait to be working with you, he shouts. Nice. There we go. This is a good game because for a second I'm like, damn, it'd be so cool to be a sleeper on the run and not insanely stressful. Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. Okay. Interesting. That's a cool perk. But let's get these spores back. Oh, you need more spores. Okay, I see. Okay, we only have so long. Excellent. But I didn't find any caps. Okay. Still, I can use these spores for the overlook. Yeah. I'll play Spore next. That's really gonna go well. Those rolls are so bad. Oh man. Yeah, that's not good. From what I understand, that is what Spore is about. Damn. They love me. Now, let me see if... Can I make profit on this now? If I buy it for 16, how much do I get for it? Damn. Okay. Well, that would have been too easy. I can almost make all my money back. Off the top of my head, games that let you be an amoeba. There was an old fucking Flash game on, like, congregate.com or whatever that had... It was like an RTS where you're a single-celled organism. Pandemic 2, I think there was an amoeba mode, yeah. I don't, Kim, I don't know what that means. Boog, I'm shaking your hand. I was all over congregate.com. I was out there playing fucking Decision 2. Okay, if you're talking Neopets, you're gonna want to ask more. I don't know anything about it. I was out there playing Decision 2. I was out there playing Achievement Unlocked. I was out there playing... what else was I playing? All the games with that little fucking elephant were kind of goated. Alone a Shooter, I don't remember. This is the only level. Kim, one of these days you're gonna bring up something I know. Oh, I think I remember that one. Or Impossible Quiz. Yeah, of course, Impossible Quiz. Right, of course, like a fucking... It was like Palisade 2 or something. There was also one that was like... Yeah, sure, totally. You can link that to me. There was that one that... It was like you were like taking back a city from the zombies. And you like had to build walls around new city blocks and shit. There's the one where you built a mall. Oh, fucking Corporation Inc. Corporation Inc. used to be my fucking thing. Kingdom of Loathing. Yes, Lexi and I played Kingdom of Loathing for a while together. Mar, I think you're thinking of Infection. What's it, Infection? It was like Infecticide or something? Where you like drop the zombies into the map? The escape room games were all kind of peak. I'm afraid those were real good. All right, we need to use the stabilizer tomorrow. I saw Sunny recommended all the time, but I never played it. Afro Ninja Games, yeah. Yeah. Who was the one who made the, like, Achievement Unlocked and all that? It was, like, JMTB02 or something? Because they also made the one where you, like, jump and hit the coin block. Fancy Pants Adventure, yes. Yes, dude, now we're talking. Fucking Learn to Fly? Okay, were y'all fucking with Nitrome? Were y'all fucking with Nitrome.com? Of course, Kim, of course I played those. Absolutely I played those. I got so much shit to do. Oh, you need all three at once here, okay. Okay, Kim, you're going back out of the shit that I know now. I had you there for a little bit, but and Minesweeper, yes. Oh, damn, what the hell? I mean, Minesweeper I just played on the desktop, to be fair. I mean, I played both. I did fuck up some solitaire. I did teach Kate how to play solitaire a couple of years ago. And, you know. That's true, Mark. Kate does have a brother, so not as much solitaire necessity, I think. What weird CD games did I have as a kid? Magic School Bus. A couple Magic School Bus types. The, Jumpstart. Y'all fucking with Jumpstart? I had the Ocean one. And I had the Ocean one and the Jungle one. I did not have any putt-putt going on. Or Pajama Sam. Those were not, yeah, the red and yellow logo, that's the one. Damn, Kate's an OG, or Kim's an OG Baldur's Gate gamer. What did they do to your goat? Bye, Psalm. Have a happy flight. In what way is your brother mad about Baldur's Gate 3? I see. I beat Baldur's Gate 3 last year. Boog, you're gonna... I'm gonna... I was worried you were gonna say that because I have the same feelings about Baldur's Gate 3 that I had about fucking Expedition 33. Girl. It's okay, Boog. You do have the low ground liking the D&D 5e game. You can swing all you want. You're coming from a weak position. I do agree that Expedition 33 is better than Baldur's Gate 3. I do agree with that. They're both mid, but it is better. I'm sorry, I just got the communist achievement. Can we pause and acknowledge that I got the communist achievement for joining the commune? Oh, hello. Boog, I didn't say you like D&D. I said you like the D&D game. You like the 5e video game, which you said yourself. I'm quoting you. I love a lot of trash. Don't get me wrong. I like a lot of trash. I am just specifically I wouldn't even call Baldur's Gate 3 trash. I also Expedition 33 is art. You're absolutely correctly. It's just not art that I like very much. Like, it's just not art that I care for, personally. It is no Bloonies. Davies Lynch. Davy Jones's Lynch. No, we're gonna be fucking talking here all day. I mean, David Lynch is art. That is true. I don't think I've seen David Lynch's paintings, but I have seen Ringo Starr's paintings. Have you seen those? Thank you, Mel. You did what? Boog, you're a war criminal. Boog, you are a fucking war criminal for that shit. Hold on, I'm pulling up Ringo Starr's paintings. He made these in fucking... Oh, WebP image? Fuck it, I'm just screenshotting it. It's not gonna detract from the quality much, I'll tell you that. I'm not gonna save this in my Angel's Cross NPC folders. That'd be insane. Oh my god, I just realized, where are my white woman normals? Where are they? Damn. I'm better than all of you because I don't have a degree. That's what my takeaway is. No, Boog, I still have the debt. I did all but one semester. I just don't have the degree. Delete this. Ah, fuck it. It's too much. Go look up Ringo's shit on your own. I'll figure this out. Okay, I gotta get through this conversation. I gotta figure out. I'm disrespecting Rico here. I gotta figure out what's going on. We could get back to this conversation topic in a second. You head down into the Haifa compound, following a blue-painted line that is labeled Laboratories. The member you were assigned to work with tells you they'd asked to see you, but you still have no idea what about. The line takes you to a blue door and through to a glass-roofed chamber where a network of stems and leaves filters the sunlight coming through the ceiling, casting the whole chamber in a strange yellow-green. Peaceful, isn't it? Distracted by the green, you miss the woman standing at a lab bench camouflaged by the dappled light. Welcome to my sanctuary, she smiles. Come, let's talk, she says and beckons you closer. What is this place? Here, these were processing centers for the agriculture of the old corporate station. I'm Rico. I run the botany program at Haifa. Botany program? Yes, the plans of the Greenway are vital to Haifa's continued existence. It's important we understand them. She lifts a tiny sample jar. Yellow spores dance inside. Haifa lives off the land of the Greenway. It's what allows us to live like we do. No one here pays or is paid. We sleep here, we feed each other, we work for each other. Rico walks away from the bench and waves for you to follow. She opens a small door and leads you down a glass corridor surrounded by vivid green. All this, she says, gesturing at the overgrowth. It's a kind of miracle. She looks at you with bright eyes. What do you think usually happens to plants on stations like this when they are abandoned? They die? Eventually, yes. They cannot live without intervention. She leads you left at a crossroads. But here they endured. She smiles to herself. Actually, no, they thrived. You look at the bright tendrils wrapped around the metal frames of the corridor. They look dominant, strong, like they're taking control of this place. Rico continues. Of course, Solheim tried to create a stable biosphere here, patchworking the surface with gardens and algae tanks that feed into a network of microbial reclamation systems, but the Greenway was always envisioned as extractive, a place from which the harvest is removed and sold to those living on the station. Not a closed loop. For this reason, when the collapse came, the Greenway should have gone with it. Erlen himself was so convinced of it that his first colony never even came here to try to reclaim it. The Eye instead relied on outside favors and influences, shipments from the inner system, and small-scale agriculture systems like kelp and fungal farm stacks. And yet here we are, amid growth and decay, a biosphere flourishing. When Haifa came here, we expected to find only vacuum-dried stalks and leaves, and perhaps some fungal colonies hidden in the mulch. But we found a jungle. With this, Rico hits a button on the wall and leads you through a large pair of double doors into a huge, impossible chamber. It is every kind of green, from the pale algae tanks to the dark vines that surround them. It is wet, too, a rarity on the eye. Condensation clouds the light from the high glass roof and gathers on the shiny, broad leaves of shrubs. Oh, that's exactly our question. Rico turns to you, visibly excited by the room you're both standing in. It doesn't make sense, but in many ways the system has stabilized. Unlike the farm stacks closer to the Gap, who need input to support their meager output, this place runs itself. Perhaps Solheim managed something new here. Perhaps they tweaked the plants or built new systems buried deep below us. Or perhaps their collapse caused some fortunate cascade, an unlikely chemical reaction within the biosphere. That's what I'd like you to help me find out. Aren't you the botanist? Astutely noticed, but I don't need a botanist. Rico sits on a railing. These halls run deep, Sleeper, and I'm getting old. She stamps her foot on the metal grating of the walkway. Whatever is causing this, it's to be found in the groves deep in the Greenway. Haifa won't spare anyone for an expedition. It's too dangerous and unnecessary, they say. I can make the case, but I can't get the votes. You Sleepers are hardy beings, I know that much. You can speak to the Eye, uncover its secrets in ways I never can. She holds out an arm so you can help her stand. Bring me samples, spores, seeds, and blooms. I can grow them in the lab and study them. The deeper they are found, the better. I'll try. Thank you, she smiles. And thank you for listening. Rico leads you back out of the huge chamber and up through the passages. She's a little slower now and stumbles on the steps. You help her where you can. It's good to have new blood in the commune, she says. Many of us have been here a long time and few come through. She settles back at her bench in the lab, stretching her legs. You go to leave. Come back if you find something, Sleeper, she calls. There are discoveries to be made. And you follow the blue line back up out of the compound, all the time thinking of that impossible magical green. Can deliver spores. Great. You did that. What's up, Feng? When you enter the service dock, Feng is already set up, crushed among stacks of equipment. He is leaning over a terminal, bathed in a blue glow. He looks totally at home. Sleeper, what do you think? Turns out not everyone in Haven is just set against me. A couple of my old systems pals managed to ship me some of my old gear. He gestures at the pile of blinking hardware. Nice kit. Feng does a mock bow. Any updates? Feng beckons you over. He has a set of scans of the waste on his terminal with heat maps of activity overlaid. A chunk of the derelict room is blotchy with bright red and orange marks. Does this look like a wasteland to you? Feng shakes his head. There's hundreds of Conway machines out there, all lined up in concealed hangars, and a whole underground facility to support them. Hardin has got a crew out there putting them together. They must have shipped them in piece by piece through the shipyard, ready for assembly out here. Why? They're planning something. No one needs hundreds of heavy-duty reclamation drones to run this kind of operation. Maybe Hardin masked this whole thing as an effort to clean up the waste, but there's no way this is about pulling scrap off the eye. Why is Conway in the mix? I bet no one in Haven knows another corporation is setting up on the station. You're not stupid either. These scans are the best info I can get. The wastes are cut off from the eye's cloud of networks, and the Greenway is a total dark zone. No data can come in or out. I can try. No use. You need to enter the cloud, and there's no cloud to speak of. He turns and winks. That's why I'm going to pay them a visit. How? You forgot. Havenage come in and out of there all cycle. I should be able to get in. As long as no one I know sees me. He grimaces playfully. But I need you on the outside to help disable security systems and cut me a pathway through. There's no cloud access, but if I can get inside, I can open up nodes in their network and we can work in tandem. It's a massive facility buried deep down there. Miles of corridor and ventways wrapped around cargo bays and hangars, so it'll take more than a few cycles to work through it. But as long as you can keep them off my back, I know I can rip what we need out of there. He pulls a handful of ripperworms from his pocket and hands them to you. These are the last of my little helpers I managed to salvage. So make them count. I modified them slightly. This time they'll feed their data threads back into the systems they are tunneling into, creating a nasty little feedback loop. No, it's definitely on topic. Don't apologize. We're chatting. We're chilling. It's all good. We run it just like we did with the agents. Hack the nodes I pinged to locate the ports for the security system, then slot the worms in those systems and let them go to town. He points to the fuzzy silhouette of the buried facility on the terminal. Here's the entryway. This is where you can get access and slot the first worm. That'll fry their perimeter systems and get me past the first cordon. What I need from you is to keep your eyes on the facility after you kick things off. You see me pop up a security system, a server bank, you need to break in and slot a ripper to disable it as soon as you can. If I can't? Feng gives you a hard look. You miss a system, you wait too long, they are gonna find me. Simple as that. He claps you on the shoulder. I need you focused on this one, so I'm gonna let you fire the starting gun. I won't go until you slot that first worm. I'll leave a tracker running on the terminal here, so come back if you want to see my progress. He affectionately pats the top of the screen. Got it. Don't worry, you can run rings around their protocols. I've seen it. Feng gets up. It's all in place. You just need to make your own preparations, then slot that worm. He stretches. Just don't wait too long. I'm getting bored of all this sneaking around. Once I'm inside, I'll get the proof we need to end this whole thing, no matter what. He crouches to check the terminal. We can't take longer than 6 cycles on this thing. Remember that. He stands up. Oh, and one last thing. If I get caught or you can't reach me or we run out of time, there's one thing I need you to do. What? You take whatever I've managed to pull at that point, all that data, and you slot that stuff straight into the relay I've set up here. He points to a pile of servers and terminals hooked into the dock with cables as thick as your arm. I repurposed the dock's SOS broadcast to beam out whatever you put in it. Anyone with a terminal, a slate, or a server on the eye will see it. That means Havenage, Yatagan, the hub, everyone. No matter what, Hardin isn't snaking away this time. I've got a bit more to do here, but the moment you slot that first worm, I'll make my move. Nerves hit as you make your way out of the service dock. Time to prepare yourself. Kim, it's like the fourth time we've said it today. Do I have one upgrade point? Okay. Those ship mind fragment, are they here? Damn, that is a steal. Oh shit. I need to do some work over here so that I actually have any money. You know, we're gonna re-roll these two. Oh, nice roll. Right, and then I need to combine the ship mind at the Orc Fabricator. Drop the ship mind core onto the galley table with an emphatic bang. Ankita spins around from where she's been poring over some documents on her slate. Holy shit, Sleeper, did you actually land a ship mind? She rushes over and hefts the huge cylinder, turning it back and forth. Well shit, it might actually work. She smiles wider than you've ever seen. Where did you get it? I built it. Built it? Well, you are full of surprises. Ankita bangs on the galley wall. Hear that, Amber? The Sleeper got you a new ship mind. The sound echoes down the ship's passages. You have to admit, being in a small space with Ankita when she's this excited is a little intimidating. Ankita puts the ship mind back on the table. I'll start the process of fitting it as soon as I can. I might need your help with some of it. She heads back towards the counter to grab her slate. This isn't the only good news today either. Looks like my good karma's finally coming in. She throws the slate under the table and spins it so you can see the screen. Take a look at this. You see a list of names and numbers, nothing that exciting, along with what looks like a transit timetable. I found them. The thieves? Exactly. Well, the thief, singular, or more specifically, Ashton Cade. It was his past that was used to access Amber and slice the ship mind. I thought he might have been killed or robbed, his past stolen, but it turns out he crossed the Founder's Gap the very next cycle. How do you know? Sorry, how do you know? I know some of the crew over at the ferry, old mercs, used to run in an outfit I worked with. I saw them in the Overlook and they mentioned they saw Ashton crossing. I checked the manifests and there he was. It looks suspicious. He hasn't said a word since the theft, and anyone wanting to hide out might head to the Greenway and go to ground. We won't get far though, there's no real docks out there. Only a couple of jetties in the wastes. So what now? Now I fit the ship mind. That's the first priority. But maybe you could help me out. Sure. How? It's like this. I head over there, especially in Amber. He'll spot me a mile off and go underground. You'll find a way to slip the station, or he'll bury him so deep in the waste no one will ever find him. But you, Ashton doesn't know you. All I need is for you to go there and sniff around. Not the commune, not the stacks. He will have gone to the edges, the margins, the wild places. That's what Ashton likes. You see him, you locate him, you ping me on this. She hands you a comm earpiece. Seeing as this is merc work, I'll be happy to give you merc pay. The thing is, I haven't got much left, so how about I tell the boys who run the ferry to give you a discount? I know it's not much, but once I grab this coward, it'll pay up. 200 cryo, nothing less. What do you say? Not sure. She stands up quickly. I'm not asking for charity. This is a contract. Take it or leave it. She lifts the ship mind up onto her shoulder with worrying ease. I want to go get this fitted into Amber's core. You get any info, any sense of where Ashton is hiding, you let me know. She goes to turn and then stops. And once again, Sleeper, thank you. I appreciate it. Nikita stops off into the guns of Amber with the ship mind leaving you in the galley. You glance around, a sudden nervous energy descending of what is to come. You never thought you'd get work as a mercenary, but then again, it seems the eye is full of surprises. What quests have I gotten? These. These are the ones I'm working on. These are the ones I've done. Yeah, the ones that are on screen now are the completed ones. Okay, well I gotta upgrade now as well. Let's get self-repair. Found rabbits? Hell yeah. Put in a little work. Yeah, it is pretty dark out. Let's do it. As you slot the worm, a thread jumps up out of the facility. It unspools in front of you, releasing its data like ink and water. Sleeper. Feng's voice crackles through. Moving in. Nodes, then ports, slot the worms. Timer starts now. Stay safe. Thread dissipates. You're on your own now. Okay. We have 6 cycles to do this now. I can't do anything yet today. In the meantime... give us scrap components. Oh god, good luck, Mar. Are you fighting Lace? Who are you fighting? You should dodge. You should probably dodge that. I need a little bit of energy, so... I can't... Kim, that's really funny. Are you just not trying to dodge the attacks before that? I mean, that's how I play too. I'm very aggressive in those games. Ah, see, now that's a skill issue. What is the Thrill Seeker? Oh. Clearly you do, because you're getting stomped by Lugosi's huge ass. Clearly you need some skills. Because that shit was not happening to a beast like me. Boog's right. A thread from the facility cuts through the cloud like a hairline crack of light. That's it, the final layer of security broken. Somewhere buried in the depths of the station, Feng is in control. He is slicing into the camera control circuits and piping out the result. The thread flickers and unravels into an image, a scene, two figures in a room, one sat, the other pacing. The pacing figure resolves into Hardin, the unmistakable superior posture, the shock of gray hair. The second figure's features don't seem to resolve. They are vague, uninformed, a problem with the data perhaps? You look closer, and then you see it. The figure is a proxy. Perhaps you should have expected it from Conway, a corporation whose very existence is owed to automation. The proxy is a machine designed to be piloted by remote connection. Someone else in the system puppeteering it with their own body, speaking, so it may speak. Proxy sits impassively, or the Conway executive that is piloting them does, from the distant safety of some ship or orbital colony, perhaps. We can move forward, there is no doubt. We can move forward, there is no doubt, Hardin is saying. Reclamation teams are almost ready, and after that I will make the declaration. Nothing has to change. Proxy leans forward, its movement stilted, uneven, as if its body was being refracted through water. But things must change, Hardin. We need further assurances. I've been informed of a breach in one of the closed networks in the low end. You've been careless. Hardin waves the accusation away. We have been stretched. A breach was detected, yes, but no data value was lost. Our board is concerned, Hardin. A drop in our value would be unwelcome at this time. The proxy leans back, its posture dominant. If the reclamation of AE-1 is contested, then we could be drawn into a compromising legal position. Hardin approaches the proxy. There will be no contest, not from Solheim, who cannot muster a defense, not from Havenage, who will fall in the line below me. He crouches in front of the seated figure, eye to eye. And the people of this station? Refugees, gangs, spacers, all either opportunists or degenerates. Havenage is no longer strong, no longer united. No one here believes in Erlin's vision, nor has the strength to enact it. I sat across from him at the negotiating table. He was forceful, eager, weakened by his ideological convictions perhaps, but a great man nonetheless. This place no longer deserves to bear his name. The eye is crippled, it cannot survive. It is ruin filled with squatters and outlaws. They will be lucky if it still spins in 100 cycles. You will move forward with the reclamation, because otherwise you will lose your advantage in the system. Without your advantage, you will lose claims on the remaining palladium. Without the palladium, your factories will go dark. Do I need to continue? They could save it by calling them regenerates. Fucking Resident Evil enemy-ass name. One moment. Comes the response from the proxy. And its head drops to its chest. Hardin steps back and paces once more, awaiting the discussion taking place elsewhere in the system. You watch Hardin as he paces, as he considers his future. What goes on within a mind like that? In the mind of a man who would burn all those around him for a path to some imagined golden end? Proxy lifts its head. We are happy to proceed. We will legally claim the station formerly known as Solheim AE-1 as salvage within 6 cycles. Havenage is to assist with the transport of the illegal residents to Conway housing and labor facilities. The proxy judders to its feet. Conway will also claim 70% of the raw output of the reclamation process after losses have been accounted for. Harlan nods. Accept. Proxy reaches out to shake his hand like a marionette, and the recording loops. You watch it play out a second time, gripped by a horrified fascination. There is a bluntness to the conversation, to its blatant disregard for humans as anything other than objects. Things to be moved, to be used, to be fed into structures, crushed, and losses accounted for in the cells of tables, the margins of ledgers. You realize now that you are no different than anyone else on this station in the eyes of the people in that room and those like them. Each body here can be recast as a piece of property, a tool, an expense, an acceptable loss. In one moment they could be named a citizen, celebrated, protected, and in the other a very idea of citizenship can be used against them. That is what it means to live in proximity to a system like this. No longer, not while the eye spins. You gather the recording, pack it into a polygon of purest light. Then you drift down into the surface dock like a falling leaf and find the relay. It only takes a second to place that polygon of data, that recording, into the relay system Feng prepared. And then you watch as it bursts out, a web of threads, heading out into the black to every network device on the eye. Let them see what power makes of a man. Yeah, no, the prose is really strong. Extremely true. Extremely true, Boob. Sell ship lines. I want to try and decline. Great. There's so much shit to do. my god. Slot navigator and the clamps lock the ship mind is stuck. How are you going to get them out of this thing? You slip into the cloud as easy as blinking. Navigator is beside you, their sphere casting light into the strange darkness here. This is not how a mainframe should look. A center, a point of connection. The object in front of you is severed, cut off, a rootless, branchless tree. Only the trunk remains. Is Killer even here? Quiet! Navigator hisses. And then you see it, like a blade in the dark, an edge slicing through the void. It glides along at a distance and winks out. Then it appears again elsewhere, gliding once more, searching. What is it? The moment you make a sound, the edge leaps closer, and you see now it is not an edge, but the ridge of a long, sharp head like a shark. It glides past, closer now, and you see into the voids where its eyes should be. You and Navigator exchange looks, both thinking the same thing. It is blind. Killer crosses between you two, smooth as a razor, and then disappears. It flickers back in, further away now, when you move close to Navigator to talk. You saw it too, then. Killer has been blinded. We need to be careful. Correct. The protocol is clearly operating outside established limits and may be unpredictable. You flinch as the silent killer appears closer and glides past you, its empty sockets open and wide. You turn to Navigator and notice something strange. Their aureus spheres is collapsing. Their orbits, usually round and even, are decaying. The spheres are following spiral paths, condensing on a central point. Navigator is noticing it too. They go to shift their position to better direct the spheres, but they cannot. Whatever is drawing the orrery together is holding them in place. They look at you, suddenly desperate, frantic. Get out. You go to speak, but Killer appears between the two of you, gliding through the gap. Navigator freezes, and you see them framed in the empty socket. You realize now, if Navigator cannot move, then it is only a matter of time before one of Killer's sweeps brings them directly through Navigator. And time is not a problem for a protocol that has been running for decades. You look desperately around for a solution, for a way to extract Navigator from the mainframe. Then you see it, 3 branches, the last 3, thin and spindly, feeding the mainframe a thin diet of power and data. Break these and the mainframe collapses once and for all. Severing the connection, shattering the hardware, whatever it takes, they must be broken. But they are encased in something, a glassy layer of protection. You'll need to unlock access before snapping them from the mainframe for good. You look at Navigator, try to reassure them without speaking, and then you blink back to reality. Their expression of fear and afterimage that slowly fades. You must act quickly. have to come back tomorrow to finish this. Complete active scenes. Where are the active scenes? I bet you it's over in the Havenage office, following up on Fang. Oh, an Emphis! And Tala! Okay, not Fang. Tala comes to you one shift when the bar's empty, tapping you on the shoulder as you clear the bar. It's ready. She's grinning from ear to ear. Did you roll? Obviously. She grabs you by the arm before you can ask anything else and drags you into the back room. The smell hits you immediately when you enter, a cocktail of rich fermentation and chemical sharpness. The room is warm and bright now, the newly installed lights making the place look clean whether it is or not. Tala has already pulled up a couple of stools around a metal crate, where 2 glasses with a few fingers of pale Girolles inside sit waiting. She smiles. I haven't even tried it yet. You can see she's nervous. You both sit at the makeshift table, the slight strangeness of the situation making you both jumpy. Tala hands you a glass. Cheers, she says solemnly and knocks the glass back. You do the same. The first sensation is burning, a sharp, nose-clearing blast of alcohol that has your frame querying whether you would like to activate safe mode. You gulp the drink back, and it is only then behind the burn that you taste the earthy tones of the mushrooms, the wood and the soil left behind like sediment, barely there. Not bad, actually. Tala raises an eyebrow. You sure? Maybe he needs diluting? Tala swirls the Girolle in her glass. That might work. Open it up a bit. Tala grabs a metal bottle from the newly installed work surface and adds a few drops of water into the Girolle. Try again? This time, the burn is a warming glow, harsh but fading off, and the woodiness feels less heavy. You taste something floral in among the marshy decay, something fresh and bright that you never expected to find. Both you and Tala meet eyes. It's really good, right? It is. Tala grins with her whole face, and that makes you smile too. Tala pours out some more Girolle, then adds some more water. The action's already taking on the quality of a ritual. You both drink. Tala tucks her feet up beneath her on the stool, folding her legs. She looks down into her glass and swirls the liquid thoughtfully. What's on your mind? Tala looks up at nothing in particular. My father opened this place, you know? She says out of nowhere, thoughts suddenly becoming words. It was his attempt at making a life for us, for my family, when we got to the Eye. Your family? My father, my mother, a little brother. She takes a drink. They aren't around now. I'm sorry. That's okay. My parents had long lives, and my brother is somewhere in the Starward Belt. Ran off with a salvage crew. She puts her glass down. He's alive as far as I know. Boog. Is this a mullet, though? It's kind of like a... It's kind of half up, half down, isn't it? I was just thinking about something my father told me. When he first set this place up, he wanted to call it the Bantian, but he was afraid to scare off the customers, so he kind of translated it. Hence, the Overlook. Yeah, if you can see my cursor, I feel like this bit here is, like, tied up. And in these past few cycles I've been in here, I've been thinking that I should rename the place. The Bantian. What do you think? Love it. Me too. She picks up her glass. That settles it then. To the Bantian. You both clink your glasses and drink up. Hisses through her teeth. Still harsh. She laughs and suddenly grabs your shoulder. Oh, Sleeper, I totally forgot. She stumbles to her feet. She lurches over to a corner of the room covered with a plastic sheet and whips it off like a magician performing a trick. Beneath it is a neat little kitchen, a sink with a work surface and a compact oven with a hob. Your kitchen! She doesn't give you time to respond. You can come make stuff here anytime, as long as you promise not to raid the mushroom farm. I need those for the droll. I was thinking, too, that if things pick up, we could start serving food at the the Bonzion. Do you like it? It's perfect. Tala gives you a hug, then quickly stands back. I'm sorry. I'm just so glad you're here. Me too. As Tala tidies away the glasses, you inspect the kitchen, checking that all works. It's small and salvaged, but after what you've had to put up with, it feels like a dream come true. Later, when she's done for the day, Tala comes back through to the bar and you share a glass of Goodgerol, the one she didn't distill. And this time you talk about nothing in particular, sharing stories about regulars or discussing the best place to eat on the eye, which after everything that's happened feels like a nice change of pace. When it comes time to leave, you promise to cook for Tala and agree to let her know which shifts you'll be working in the coming cycles and then slip out in the cool of the rotunda. In this moment, you feel for once at home. Achievement unlocked, free spirit. Ah, that's good. Ah, that's good. Damn. Emphasis preparing the droll caps. He's had to heavily adapt this recipe, he says, but the smell's already incredible. It emanates from a strange purplish white bulb you've never seen before, and he's slicing it finely. He brushes and slices the mushrooms, and then places them in the wok with the sliced bulb in the oil. They caramelize there in that well-worn crucible. He adds liquids, transparent and opaque, and then turns down the heat. A sprinkle of leaves is the final touch. We have a moment then, Sleeper. Do you have a story? Something in the scent of the food gives you a feeling of nostalgia, something distant and melancholic. It seems like the story should match that feeling somehow. Maybe you will feel better for telling it. You start by explaining that you are emulated from a person. Many of your memories are left behind. Perhaps it is an intentional part of the process, as a way of keeping sleepers ignorant and malleable, or perhaps it is a side effect of the imperfect emulation. You admit you don't really know. What you do know is that some memories survive, and on occasion they come back to you like shadows passing overhead. You detail one recurring memory, which, despite returning to you with enough regularity for you to think it familiar, always fades as quickly as it arrives. You struggle to explain the feeling of being whole for a moment that comes with this memory, and then how that wholeness slips away to leave you feeling like you have forgotten something important but just can't bring it to mind. Memphis nods throughout, cooking as he does with deft and skillful movements. You start to trail off when you realize you can't find the words to explain how the memories you do have feel both like yours and someone else's at the same time, and how that always fills you with a certain sadness. Sadness of remaining forever unknown even to yourself. Memphis finishes cooking and meets your eye. I'm sorry, Sleeper, for your troubles. He puts the wok to one side. I appreciate you sharing with me. I hope it lightens you a little. Passes you a bowl and heaps the drolls into it, their yellow color mixing with the pale sauce and whirls and blooms. Eat. The dish is delicious, filling. It warms you as you eat in a way you weren't even sure your body could be warmed. It is a small mercy, you think, that SNRP left you displeasure. Many of the features of frames are there to simulate human experience, you know that much. Emulated minds cannot be rewired, so their need for embodied experience must be met. That is why you breathe even when you do not need air. Without that simulation, the sensation of drowning would be unbearable. Food serves another purpose. Your frame is able to metabolize it to produce energy from the raw material. Vitamins and minerals are excess, of course. Your frame only needs raw power, so much is wasted. And yet, while you eat this food and feel that warmth, nothing feels wasted. It all means something to you. As you finish, Memphis takes the bowl, the last of his cleaning. He smiles at you, and neither of you feel the need to say anything more. And instead, you simply exchange nods and walk your separate ways back into the bright market, somehow changed. think that's all the active scenes. We're also going to try using some of these components to fix up our condition here. Oh my god, it's literally just one point. We'll use this other one too then, just to keep ourselves above the 5 line. Oh fuck, we need to be helping Navigator. A glint like a light traveling along the edge of a wave fills your eyes. Then the blade follows, a long head with 2 dead sockets slipping towards you in silence. Laura Palmer shirt, World of Horror sweats, Persona 5 themed sweater. Hell yeah. That's a fit. You freeze, hoping it'll pass you by, hoping there will not simply slice through you like air. The blade head nears, slides past you, almost. It nicks you, grazes you. You're desperate to cry, to call out. Would you hold your silence and simply watch the blind eyes of the killer glide past, empty of all thought? The blade winks into the dark and you are alone again. Now you cry out. Damn it, my condition! Give me that shit. Oh my god. Fucked up. See you, Kim. Thanks for hanging out. Yeah, I rerolled Snake Eyes into Snake Eyes. That is what happened. Not quite. Because I think it's different because you're starting with a set of 6 dice. Or 5 dice, right? instead of like if those were my only two dice, but they were just the two dice I had left. So it was a 1 in 36 chance that I re-rolled into Snake Eyes there. But I only re-rolled them in the first place because they were already Snake Eyes. But it's okay, I can use them to get data. That's pretty fun. I went engineer. Complete active scenes. Who's active? What's active? Fang! Fang grins at you as the bay door slides open. Above, in the rest of the building, people are busy, frightened. They speak in hushed tones and organize endless meeting after endless meeting. Havenage has avoided a full-blown crisis for now, but change is coming. Fang is in good spirits and bundles you inside before you even have the chance to greet him. That was the slickest operation this station has ever seen. He hugs you firmly. You made my job easy. Shakes you by the shoulders. I'm so proud. And I got to watch through the cameras as the Havenage security that weren't in on it assaulted the station. Fang smiled. One of them straight up just whacked Hardin with their pistol. It was beautiful. They have him? He's being held, yeah. He looks around. I think the idea is to use him as leverage with Conway, get him to back off. Maybe they'll exile him when they're done or hand him over to some core authority. Now that I know he won't be an issue, I'm going to be focusing on systems for a bit, seeing as that's my actual job. Points to the ceiling. The people upstairs weren't so happy, though. They've been fielding questions about the state of the eye right and left since the recording got out. People are scared. I'm not surprised. Yeah, the whole thing hasn't won me many fans in the administration. But I think in the end they'll agree that outing Hardin was worth it, whatever the methods. He touches a stack of hardware. The eye is old and it was never meant to run like this. The master control points that Erlen and Havenage installed, they keep it spinning from the rim. That isn't ideal. But if you're asking me if the eye will stop spinning next cycle, no. And me and a ton of other skilled people will be working to stop it happening in the cycle after that. Hardin's problem was that he didn't believe in people. He believed in systems and their ability to shape the world around them. Fang squeezes your shoulder. But as far as I'm concerned, people should be the ones running the systems, not the other way around. Anyway, Fang raps on the side of his terminal. I know you didn't come down here for a lecture. I haven't forgotten. Produces a thumbnail drive. I managed to finish that code solution I showed you. It's a modified Ripper worm, one made to deactivate that tracker of yours. At the time since I got back, I added something extra. That tracker of yours doesn't just show SNRP where you are, it transmits data about the state of your body, your current condition. My worm won't just deactivate it, it'll edit that data to tell SNRP your body is irreparably damaged. DNR, do not retrieve. He grins widely. Pretty smart, right? That's perfect. Just slot it already. You take the drive and hold it in your hand, then close your eyes and open up your access ports. Take down your defenses. The worm immediately enters your closed network. It whips through it, taking things with it as it goes. The moment they are gone, you forget they were ever there. They just blink out of existence. A second later, it is done. You open your eyes. How do you feel? Asks Fang a little nervously. I'm tired. Aren't we all? Pats you on the shoulder. Take it easy. Things might be a little woozy for a minute. He looks at his terminal screen. The logs tell me it worked, so feel it or not, you are free. Fang lets the word free hang in the air a little longer before he continues. Seems like it might be finally time for a celebration. Fang wraps his arm around you. Jenna still owes us those drinks. He laughs and you join him, and later when you leave you feel deeply thankful for having such a friend. As you walk away from the building, you look up at the wide curve of the eye, up at the hub and the other room beyond it. The whole thing twinkles with lights, and it seems impossible to see it as anything other than breathtakingly beautiful. It feels in that moment like something eternal. That doesn't mean it can or even should last forever, or that it will never change, fade, or decay. It simply means that in this moment this place has a future, and it is one that you know deeply and truly is worth protecting. Yeah, we'll take Engineer 3. There are still active scenes, huh? The compressor is almost empty when you enter, a couple scattered patrons in the booths and a lone bartender. The bartender recognizes you immediately when you arrive and nods, and you return the greeting. You already know that you won't find Ethan here, but you had to be sure. With your tracker reporting you dead, he wouldn't have stuck around. You looked at the empty stool, his empty stool, and you smile. You can imagine him on it when his slate chirps, letting him know that the target he was tracking is dead. You can imagine the screaming and the swearing, too. Is that all you were to Ethan? Another target, or was there something else going on? It seems like a foolish question to ask now when he fled the station, but it bothers you anyway. You take one last look and walk out. You doubt you'll ever come back to this place or the memories it holds. You walk back out into the lights of the bright market and allow yourself a smile. So this is what Fang meant when he said you were free. You could get used to this. Everything's coming up, sleeper, baby. As you blink into the cloud, you see the last flickers of life from the mainframe. The vast machine once ran the whole station, spanned it up, directed and processed the flow of energy, water, and data, fed the lives of thousands of people. Now it is finally dead. Navigator is beside you, and you both watch as the branches flash and twist like forked lightning until they recede and fade. Killer flickers across the scene, blindly flailing as the system breaks down. They thrash as they blink in and out and all around, parts of them disappearing with each return until only the blade-like head remains, and then that, too, is broken. It all goes dark. Erlin's eye is now without a center, and he's yet unmoved by the change. Along the rim, the master control points that Erlin, that Havenage, that Haifa installed runs strong and steady, puppeteering the station from its periphery. This was a long time coming, says Navigator, drifting faintly around you in a lazy orbit as if to shake off their imprisonment. Killer had been wandering blind for so long. This place was their domain and prison, and they followed their directives for the many decades they roamed here. They cut the threads of the mainframe, executed its administrator AIs, and then kept slicing. At some point, they cut away their own ability to see, to sense, to taste, to speak, and yet they kept cutting until only those 3 threads remained from millions that once thrummed here. Only their blindness and chance kept them from making those final 3 fatal cuts. There is a ceaseless violence in the kinds of system that create beings like this, those that will execute commands endlessly, even to their own destruction. It is good you ended it here. You watch the data points of the station spin around you, blending with the fixed stars. There is something satisfying about finally wrenching the last threads of control from this central point. It was a little more than a ghost by the time you reached it, but this place deserves to be haunted by better ideas than a totalizing system of control. The navigator floats beside you. It is free now. The station no longer presents a hazard for illegal entities like me. They turn to you, their face a cloud of shimmering light. In fact, in time, perhaps it can be a refuge. A refuge. That sounds like something of value, something worth building. A dark shape passes across your vision, a distant curve of something like smoke or oil, a fluid-shifting tank of total darkness. The Greenway, says Navigator, following your line of sight. It was cut off at the moment of the collapse, so hunter or killer could never reach it. Now it is closed off to us, separated from the cloud. What system is inside it? It may be totally dark, or perhaps some other old protocols are isolated there. Navigator turns to you. And we have now seen what decades of isolation can do to a protocol. We can extract an access cipher. You freeze, shocked, but a moment later they reappear with a glowing polygon of data. Here, the cipher you need. You take it, still shocked. I am not used to being free, to being able to move and explore and extract without fear, without limits. Navigator does a little twirl. This will take some getting used to. Thank you for this gift. They whirl their spheres around you. The entities of this station will always be friends to you, Sleeper. And I to them. It is true that mutual need is required for friendship, but I must admit I had not considered the value of offering assistance without personal gain. I will think on that. Navigator loops around you rapidly, suddenly eager to test their newfound freedom. But first I will explore. Perhaps there are still intelligences that hid themselves as I did, encased in simple systems, cut off. I should like to free them. And with that they drift away, flickering, glowing, then shifting so rapidly you lose sight of them among the glittering rim of the eye. You feel a pang of jealousy. Free, without a body to weigh you down or fear to limit you. How must it feel? Your eyes fall on the Greenway and its secrets, but perhaps that can wait until after you have celebrated this victory. I like that I'm still getting points in Fungus Fan every time I eat an emphasis stall. trail ahead extends deep into an overgrown section of the greenway. At this far end of the ring, where the long, lazy curve of the greenway becomes the shattered landscape of the wastes, things are oddly quiet. Ahead stands a vast farm stag, broken from its axis by rust or force, and lying among the overgrown landscape like an ancient temple. It is stained with moss and algae, flows of green running out from its broken tanks like a frozen, brackish tide. This is where Ashton is hiding, you're pretty sure. All your intuition points to the shadows beneath this class superstructure. You roll the comm headset Ankita gave you in your palm. You slip the headset into your ear and it fizzes with static. After a few moments, you hear Ankita. Sleeper, have you located the target? Yes, come now. Copy that. Hold tight till I get there. Static cuts out the channel dead. Hold your position and watch the trail. Ahead, the stars wheel with the motion of the eye and your mind wanders. You try to imagine what this place looked like before the collapse. All ordered rows of crops, corporate pleasure gardens, glowing farm stacks. Now it is a wilderness, a strange overgrown biosphere bordered by the void of space. You smile despite everything. It seems like an improvement. Sleeper. Akita's hits brings you out of your reverie. He in the class stack? I think so. She gives you a look. You better be right. Well, there's no way I'm following that trail. If he's up there, he'll have eyes on that for sure. She glances across the landscape. Let's keep to the undergrowth, work our way around. She heads off towards the central spine of the greenway with you following close behind. It is slow going there where the overgrowth meets the metal wall, but it is so concealed that you can barely see the glass roof high above. Akita somehow knows where to go. Akita works her way through dense undergrowth, pushing aside branches and fronds. It is exhausting and you desperately want to rest, but Ankita shows no signs of letting up. Up ahead there is a faint glow from the collapsed stack. Ankita leads you around the side to a broken tank. You both step through the opening, trying to avoid the broken glass that sits among the moss and algae. You work your way up the slanted tank, Ankita setting a deliberate pace. Somewhere water drips and you swear you hear birdsong. Hanging plants catch the light, coating the place in a pale and sickly green. Ankita reaches the edge of the tank where it meets the central drum and holds up a hand for you to stop. You inch forward and look over the edge. The vast drum is like a cistern, with plants growing on all sides and wet mossy islands at its base. It is beautiful, and for a moment you can't see anything but tones of green. Then you see the sleeper. In a faint circle of light descending down through the drum, the sleeper lies slumped at an odd angle. They are surrounded by crates, and beside them on one of the mossy islands there is an object. A cylinder set on a tarp. It is connected to the sleeper's head. You flinch. Are they one of the others? One of the ones who had escaped with you? You squint, trying to recognize them. They are twisted, broken open, wrong. You look away. Akita doesn't look at you. She doesn't look at the sleeper. She fixes her eyes on the object. That's Amber's ship mind, she says, and you suddenly recognize the cylinder. Who is... You turn on Ankita to speak, but she is already gone. She drops off the edge of the tank and lands on one of the mossy islands, her armor letting out a hiss as it absorbs the impact. The shots hit her shoulder piece, the ceramic armor cracking, but holding as she braces into the impact. And she launches herself forward, the now activated armor launching her across the drum. Another shot goes wide before she reaches the cover of the crates beside the sleeper. Shit! You hear the shout from one of the tanks on the far wall. Akita reaches over and wraps a hand around the thick connection between the ship mine and the sleeper. What is she doing? You better come down here or I'll rip this right out of their head. So she screams at the wall of tanks. You shiver at the suggestion. There's a long pause. All you can hear is the dripping of the water running down the walls of the drum. Then Ashton calls out. I'm coming down, Ankita. Don't do anything stupid, for God's sake. It appears at the far side of the drum, stepping through the shallow water, rifle raised above his head. Drop the gun! Ankita shouts. Throws it down on the moss. As you lean out to watch, you see him catch your eye, clocking your presence. What are you up to here, Ashton, you sicko? She stands, keeping her sidearm trained on his head. You ripped my ship mine for what? Some freakish experiment? Ashton approaches with shaking hands, his eyes now fixed on the connecting bundle of wires that Ankita still has hold of. Steady, Ankita, it isn't like that. I needed the ship mind. You have to understand, they would have died without it. What are you talking about? I don't give a shit why you ripped my ship mind and crippled my ship. I should put you down right now. She tightens her grip on the connection. Typical of you, Ankita. No curiosity. Ashton smiles shakily. That's why I never asked for it. For your help. You only look after yourself. He nods at you. That sleeper up there, they're just bait, right? To draw me out. Ankita sucks a breath in. Are you trying to give me more reasons to shoot you? I love them, Ankita. Ashton looks at the crumpled sleeper. I love them and they were going to die. I know you would never understand that. He starts closing the gap between himself and Ankita now, slowly inching forward. Don't do that, Ashton. Don't do that. Let the wires go, Ankita. Let us go. If you don't get out of my way, he inches closer. Please. I can't let you take it, Ashton. Ankita hardens her stare. You stole it from me. You left me for dead. You think I'm going to trust you after all that? I need it, Ankita. I need them to survive. Ashton is in reach of the sleeper now of Ankita. I'm going to take them now, Ankita. He raises a hand. I'm going to take the ship mine and go. Ankita loosens her grip on the connection a little. Her hand is shaking now. Stop, Ashton. She lowers the gun a little. Stop. Seeing her drop her guard, he makes his move. A blur of movement, a struggle, a shot, another. You recoil back behind the edge as they ricochet around the inside of the drum, the sound deafening you. When you crawl back to the edge, Ashton is bleeding into the water, the red and the green. Ankita is standing at the center of the drum, the severed connection in her hand. The water drips endlessly. Drip after drip after drip. You force yourself to look at the broken sleeper. There is no sign of life, of humanity. They are just another broken object among other broken objects, while all around living things grow and thrive. Ankita finally looks back up at you, tears in her eyes. She begins to say something that might be sorry, but you are already gone. That is pretty rough. That's the age-old question. Well, you know, there's other cool ladies. Sad, but we can move on. Could you just keep rolling into... Like, the thing is that I haven't been rolling very well on my actual dice lately, but I have been rolling on the actual results well. Sleeper, Rico greets you without so much as looking up from her work. I have some of yours here. Come see. She beckons you over to a heavyweight-looking console wired to a set of specimen jars, some of which contain your spores. What does it say? The spores you have are a real cocktail, a selection of types from within the groves, but I've been able to isolate a few. She taps one of the specimen jars. Here we have Tricholomo matsutake. Rico breezes through the Latin and Japanese pronunciation as if it was nothing. A species Solheim somewhat modified for use on the station. She brings up a panel on her console showing a chemical composition, all gradiented bars and obtuse acronyms. This is the composition of the Solheim modified matsutake spores. Modified? Yes, every species on the eye is a tweaked variant of Solheim's, of course, but that's not the point. Rico brings up another panel, identical in layout but with wildly different colors and numbers. You see, this is what your matsutake spores look like. They aren't the same? That's the conclusion, yes. Rico glances at the specimen jar as if it might have something to add. They are fundamentally the same spores, but they carry different chemicals, different signals. She leans back and sighs. Solheim may have introduced their own tweaked versions at the beginning, but the groves have and still are affecting them. Affecting them how? It's hard to tell without samples of fully grown mushrooms. She meets your eye. And herein lies our problem. She moves to another desk where two trays sit side by side. The first contains nothing but plant mulch. The second you smell before you even look at it. A pungent aroma of the fruiting matsutake like rotting, sodden overalls laced with an edge of spice. The matsutake here are grown from Solheim stalks, pulled from a spore vault in this complex. They are delicious, by the way. She sets them aside. The empty tray is germinated with the spores you collected. No activity, no germination, nothing. But the groves are full. Yes, they are. Rico looks at you directly, and you suddenly realize how much she is enjoying this. So here is our puzzle, Sleeper. Spores from the groves won't grow in the lab. But to gather fruiting bodies from the groves is unpredictable. We need to grow a fruiting body from some of these spores so we can track it, understand it. In short, I need you to become a mushroom farmer. Actually, I already started. Rico looks impressed. Well, an eager mycologist. I'd never have guessed. I assume you set yourself up in the aviary? I've been eyeing that place up for its proximity to the groves. Bring me whatever grows, not just matsutake. There's more than a couple variants in there, so I'll need plenty of samples. These little things are reflections of their conditions. Their smell, their taste, their chemistry. It all derives from the conditions of their growth. Enough of these, and we'll have a picture of what is happening here, of the ways in which this biosphere is modifying itself, or being modified, whatever the case may be. Rico pops the matsutake cap into her mouth, taking it by surprise. And don't worry, Sleeper. If this turns out to be a dead end, I'll make sure that not a single mushroom will go to waste. I love her. Alright. I think that this is a solid place to end for today. We completed a lot of shit. Got this whole area, killed killer, helped Fang out. What a good game. I like that there isn't like a set kind of like, you know, I don't know what the end game is. And I like that. You know, it's not like there's larger plot stuff happening. But for the most part, I'm just trying to do my shit. It's very good. All right. Well, we are going to call that for today. Majima Monday comes back next week because I am not working. And then we'll be back with more of this on Tuesday. From what I understand, this game isn't terribly long. There's a chance we'll finish it up next time. But I do still have, this DLC stuff. So, who knows? Who knows? In any case, I'm having a good time. See y'all next time. Thanks for coming out. Bye-bye.